Thinking Green. I'm Rana, and I guess this is the first show I've done since June, so it feels kind of funny, but really good to be back. I'm going to start with a couple of announcements that are kind of voting related. Just so you all know, Tuesday, October 23rd is the deadline for people who are not registered to vote to mail in their voter registration if they want to vote in the upcoming elections in November. And Tuesday, October 30th is the last day for in-person registration at your local town hall or city hall. And along that same line, for those of you who are not registered as Democrats or Republicans, it can include both non-affiliated voters and people with minor parties like the Greens or the Libertarians. This is a special time. It's a 3-month window that comes around every 4 years that you can apply to be a justice of the peace. New London actually has 50 slots for non-major party justices of the peace. And last I heard, they had received applications for about 15. Other towns have fewer. Unlike the Democratic and the Republican justices of the peace, it is a non-political process. You apply to the city clerk in your town, and if there are fewer applicants than spaces, you're automatically in. If there are more applicants than spaces, there's a lottery. So there's no going through a party town committee or party chair to get that that role, that position of Justice of the Peace, and it runs concurrent with the presidential term. So you get to be a Justice of the Peace for 4 years. The one caveat is you have to have not been registered as a Democrat or a Republican since May 1st. So it's an interesting opportunity, and you have till October 31st or November 1st to apply at your town hall. So that's all of my political announcements. For my guest today, Dot Nielsen from Grandma's Attic is back with us. We're hoping to make music a pretty regular fixture of the show. I don't know if we'll quite manage once a month, but we're going to try to have it certainly as a regular feature.
That's a good thing.
So welcome on, Dot.
Thank you so much for having me, Rana.
And I guess before we talk about what you're doing right now, maybe you can talk a little bit about how you got into this whole music stuff.
I was born into it, I think. My great-great-grandfather is Ole Bull from Norway. He was a very famous, at least there, violinist. And I don't know, I was born wanting to do music. I tried learning to play the piano and learning to dance and learning to sing and learning to play trombone and all those things. And I pretty much failed at them miserably, but music was still in my soul. And I needed to try to figure out what to do with music. So I started back 30 years ago, actually managing bands and booking them and stuff, but the 80s wasn't good for people like me, and got lost in that. And then about 15 or so years ago, I decided I really needed to do something real with my life. And back in January of this year, I actually LLC'd Grandma's Attic, and it's taken off. I've got some amazing, amazing young people that I am promoting and managing, including the Meadows Brothers, and now the Berry Brothers, and our young entertainer today, Calla, and so many others, Harpers and Owens, and Trevor Giles, and I could go on and on. I've got a bunch of them, and they're playing all over the place, and it's just a joy. Being a DJ, of course, I can put them on the air. And now that Radio Mitchell, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
That's
in fact, we might want to start. You've had a radio show at WCNI for many years.
Yes, I have.
But now this is something new. What's happening at Mitchell College?
Wonderful things. Back when I went to Mitchell College, there was a little tiny Radio Shack. And if you were lucky, it might have hit 500 feet from there. But it never really took off. And about 2 years ago, this young man, Johnny McGowan, decided that he wanted to get Radio Mitchell up and going. And it's coming up on its 2nd year anniversary. And when I heard that Mitchell had a radio station, I was like, I need to be in on this. And they're up and coming. They are really what college radio is going to be in the future, but they're already there. They're online. It's at Radio Mitchell. No, it's radiomitchellonline.com, and they're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They're always there, and they're doing everything that radio should do, and then some, without the constraints of FCC rules, kind of, because they're online. But they're amazing. They're out in the community. They're doing things on campus, off campus, out in the community. They're feeding the community with free publicity and putting all the different genres of music on the air.
Now, how much community involvement is there in it, and how much student involvement?
Well, right now, you have to be, well, when I went there, you had to be a student to get on, and I kind of fought that because I'm an alumni. And I was like, wait a minute, my handbook says. So I fought that so I could be a DJ.
So people who have a link.
If you are an alumni of Mitchell College and you want to be a DJ, you can go in and apply. But they're really into keeping it for the students, and that's a good thing, you know. But if you're community and you're an alumni, you can go and have a show too now. But as far as community involvement, they're bringing in businesses from the community. They're doing remote access from different businesses. They're promoting pretty much any business that wants to be talked about on Mitchell Radio. They'll talk about them. They'll bring them on for interviews. I'm interviewing all the local music, all the local artists. My show is called Grandma's Attic Live Local Review, so that touches on everything.
Okay, so when is your show, if people want to listen to it?
If people want to listen to my show specifically, it's from 11 to 2 on Thursdays, 11 a.m. till 2 p.m., and every single show I have an interview.
Now, is this a purely online presence?
Yes.
Okay, there isn't a signal even if you're 500 feet away anymore?
No, there isn't a signal, but there are a couple apps that you can go to. Listen Live 365, I think, is one of those apps. But if you go to radiomitchellonline.com, the page will come up, and it shows you all the different ways that you can listen. But it's really just an online. I guess there's a satellite thing too, but yeah, it's not on the airwaves at all.
That's interesting. Well, you know, cable access TV is also not part of FCC.
Right.
So there are ways to get information, you know, not to say that the FCC regulated ways to get information aren't useful, but it's really good to have alternatives as well.
It is. Yeah, it is. It is. It's a wonderful thing.
Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about the music scene in New London in general, because you know, we're always looking for economic development in this city, and it seems to me that there's not trust in the resilience of so many aspects of New London economy and culture, but the music scene is different.
The music scene is extremely resilient and extremely self-supporting. I think we've seen that with the losses that we've taken this year. And
not to get you upset,
it's hard. It's hard. We've taken some big hits. We've lost some amazing musicians this year.
Who were kind of anchors of the musical scene for a long time. Most recently, Carl Kelly, who was a mainstay in the community for the last 40 years.
40 years. 40 years he was out there playing. There's pictures of him with this big old afro and his little skinny butt up there doing music. And even as little as 2 months ago, he was out there doing music and doing what he loved. So he really did music right up until the end, and we are going to miss him desperately. But between him and Steve Kaika of the Reducers, there was a huge tribute party called Rave On. They put out a CD called Rave On, and the party was amazing, and the music on that CD is amazing, and it can be found all over the place.
And I believe there's going to be a Carl Kelly event
that's
on
coming
November 4th.
Yep.
Also at Eugene O'Neill at the Rose Barn. And I don't have a lot of details.
But we'll get them out. They'll be on our Facebook pages, and you find us on Facebook, and you'll know all about these benefits.
But one of the things that just amazes me is that even with these huge losses, no one's afraid the music scene is going to disappear in New London.
No, because when
it's so big.
Right. Well, and because when we take a hit like this, when we take a loss like this, the music community doesn't fight against each other to see who's the biggest and who's the best. They bond together and they support each other. And so many of the people in our music community they're all friends, and they're all about everybody achieving. And we have so much talent in this area.
And some people move here because
Right,
the talent
because of the
here, so
talent,
it makes it even more
exactly.
so.
And nobody's here to fight anybody and get anybody out of the business. We're all here supporting each other, helping us all grow and get better. And that's what economy in general should be doing.
Absolutely.
Follow the path of what music's doing in the community, and we'll be a very wealthy community.
And as people know, I sometimes go to political things.
Really?
But even when I'm really embroiled in the politics of the city, I try to sometimes to get to the musical stuff. And I'm not much of a drinker, but a lot of it is in bars, and but not all. And it just feels like that's the real New London, and some of this other stuff isn't the real New London. So
Right.
it's good to have that reminder. The one other question before we bring Kayla on to perform is, are there any upcoming events that
Oh,
we
my
should
goodness.
be talking about?
This weekend is the Women's Health Expo for Cancer Awareness in Mystic Village. And there's going to be music all weekend. It starts at 11 Saturday morning and goes till 6, both days, Saturday and Sunday, Mystic Village.
Oh, is it all outdoors?
Yep, breast cancer awareness, bands on every corner, bands and acoustic duos, and you name it, they're going to be there. And Caller is one of the performers this weekend, and yeah, everybody's going to be there. It's going to be a big show.
Wow, that sounds great. I'm trying to think if there are any other events that we should be talking about, but maybe.
This is a big one. This is breast cancer. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and you can tell that because there's
Everything is pink. You go to the plaza, or all
Right.
the little
Everything
bollards
is
have
pink.
pink caps on
yeah,
them.
even Whale Tail's wearing a pink scarf. So this expo for women's health and breast cancer awareness is a big one, and because there's so many shops and so many bands involved, I think it will touch a lot of people. And every penny raised, I think that the shops are donating part of what they make. It's just going to be a really good thing, and there's going to be a lot of people there representing different organizations and different health factors. It's going to be a good thing to go, and it's going to be very family friendly. So.
And I also wanted to mention there are a couple more weeks for the Field of Greens Market.
Yep.
And like everything else in New London, there's a music, you go buy your vegetables, there's a music component.
Yep. Arlene Wow is this weekend. Harper and Owens is this Friday. Next Friday is Harper and Owens, and the week after that will be Bernadette Golden and the Golden Ratio.
Oh yeah, and Larry
So
Curtin,
yeah, that will be a great week.
And then that'll be the end of the month, and
That's the end.
see you till next
And
spring.
I'm going to give you a little kudo. We're planning to have sometime in the future, one of the first 3 or 4 months of the year, we're going to have a farmers market masquerade ball. That it's been talked about. It hasn't been fully planned, but keep your eyes open because that's
Okay.
going to be a big one.
Okay, let us know. Well, we're going to go to the community calendar. It's about 3 or 3.5 minutes long. And when we come back, Kayla Farnham is going to perform for us.
Great.
And then we'll talk to her
Yay.
as well.
That'll be
So
wonderful.
That'll be great.
Okay.
You're telling me the sink is clogged again. I don't wanna hear it. Screaming at the screen goes crashing in. It's the 7th time I fixed it. You say it's time to walk the dog again. And
Okay, well, now we can go to Kayla Farnham, who will perform for us.
I need a strong man, the kind that takes a stand for something more everything. Hanging low, going with the flow. Who would have thought ahead? Which way you going? You got a reputation. You're rolling down a slippery slope. Fair weather Sam and the bandwagon. You've been a cherry picking for you, contradicting for half a day. And if by whiskey you mean to say you agree with every side of the debate, why do you pour another glass of champagne? So cool down where you're quoting, tagging along with the trend. You must be a package deal. You say some kind of mystical thing, traditional, so typical like my view. Hanging low, going with the flow. Who would have thought it? You better which way you go when you got a reputation. You're rolling down a slippery slope. Fair weather Sam, fair weather Sam, here comes fair weather Sam and the bandwagon. Thank you. That was an original song called Fairweather Sam. hesitate to communicate. But I'm aware and awake, and I'm ready to take it, whatever we have to say or not say. I'm afraid and at the same time I'm completely unscared. Here everything winds up beautiful. What are the connotations that take in society? So sing with me and tell me you understand, my friend. The silence says it best, though the music says it well. Let's take us here again.
Thank you. This next song is called Maitri, which means compassion in Sanskrit. Comes in all shapes and sizes. It is multi-dimensional.
that was 3. Are you interested in doing a 4th, or
I certainly could.
we have time for one more?
One more.
Because that's the
Absolutely.
great thing about having a show that's a full hour.
Yeah,
We don't have to
absolutely.
rush through
Okay.
things.
Encore.
Okay. Think about it all the time. In my mind, I know that communication is the key for you and me, for you. For me, it's getting better all the time, and I hope that you agree. It's getting better all the time. After all this time we've tried, I will lay me down for you, naked honest. I will lay me down for you. I know we've got an honest understanding. Think of all the turns we took, good to bad and back again. You always seemed a little out of touch back then. Well, I taught you how to listen. You told me how to speak. I can see that love ain't easy, but it's sure a whole lot clearer now. I will lay me down for you, naked honest. I will lay me down for you. I know we've got an honest understanding. Hold on, it's gonna be a long ride. Talk to me, and it'll be alright. Hold on, it's gonna be a long ride. Talk to me, and it'll be alright. I will lay me down for you, naked honest. I will lay me down for you. I know we've got an honest understanding.
Well, if you want to come talk to us, I want to remind viewers that you're free to call in if you have questions or comments. And we have about 15 minutes to
Yeehaw.
talk. I guess before I start asking you questions about your music, could you tell us, both of you, if people want to see you play live, where they can go?
Well, I have a few gigs coming up. I play quite a bit around New London County. I believe my next gig, well, I'm playing at
Get you some-
the, oh,
Let's get you more,
okay.
so that you're not back to the world there.
I'm playing at the Women's Health Expo on Sunday.
She'll be in the Rose Garden, right next to Imagine.
Okay.
So she'll have a pretty premier spot.
Right, and that's at 1:30
Yep.
p.m. I'm going to be playing at the Penny Lane Cafe on
Thursday.
Thursday.
And you have something coming up on October 20th, right?
Right, that's the Bank Street Cafe.
Yeah, she's going to be playing a few things at the Bank Street. She's going to be soloing the night before Thanksgiving, and she's opening on the 20th. For, I don't remember who, I'm sorry.
Dirt Road.
Oh, Dirt Road
Radio,
Radio.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a big show.
That'll be a great show. And I want to tell people it starts at 9 or 9:30.
Yep.
That same evening between 7 and 9, there's going to be a reception at Union Station.
For the art.
For the artists. When we had the Down by the Riverside Festival in September, we invited artists to paint at
Right.
plein air. And we're having a reception for their work. It's going to hang in the library for 2 weeks.
What a great night.
And 7 to 9, people can come and meet the artists and have an opportunity to...
Library?
Oh, did I say
at
library?
Union-
I'm sorry.
Union
Union
Station.
Station. I don't know why I had library on the brain. Maybe because I heard they started giving out art supplies. I don't know. But yes, Union Station, 7 to 9, meet the artists.
Yep.
See their work, see what was done that day, and then it's only really a
A
short
hop, skip, and a jump. You could
to
walk
Bank
it.
Street
Yep.
Cafe to go to the other end of Bank Street to hear Kayla and Dirt Road Radio. And I saw on your website, too, that you're going to be on the day page.
It's been a while. I started singing in high school and writing music, and
Now, do you write your
going at
own
it.
material?
yep, that was all original
it's all-
material. Yeah.
Yeah, she has CDs out that are all original, and to watch her perform her original stuff is really, really impressive. I've seen her do shows that were little and out in public, out in the open air, and in little tiny venues, and no matter where she is, she puts on an amazing show, and her music touches hearts.
Now, once again, this is coming from someone who has really no musical or writing skill. What inspires you when you're songwriting?
It's usually my personal life, and I try to take lessons that I've learned and kind of put that into song form so I can help inspire other people. It's really spiritual for me. It's a healing process, so that's where it comes from.
Now, you write the music and the words, though. Which comes first?
It's usually all at the same time for me, honestly. I'll start dabbling around on the piano, and just whatever comes out of my mouth, that's the song.
Now, I think before 2 weeks ago, I hadn't really heard of you, I have to admit. Where have you been playing for the last 5 years? Or, few years?
I just started playing around New London. I've played quite a bit in the Hartford area. I'm actually from Northeast Connecticut. I've played around Boston a little bit too, so.
So you have been playing live for a while. You're just
Yeah.
sort of new to this area.
Well, Grandma's Attic met her and said, listen, we need to get you down to the shoreline.
Now, where did you meet?
I think that we were introduced by a friend, wasn't it Trevor,
It
that
was
said that we
Trevor.
needed to meet? One of the other people that I managed told her that we needed to hook up, and she came to an open mic that I sponsor. And it was love at first sight for me. I watched her play, and I was just like drop jaw, and told her that she was really good, and she really needed to play in the area here, and Yeah. We've been hanging together since.
Well-
She's really
Well, we're
good.
glad to see that you're playing quite a few gigs in this area. Are you still touring a wider circle as well?
Oh, yes.
Now, do you just do solo stuff, or have you collaborated with
No,
other
actually,
musicians?
I do play with a couple musicians, a drummer and guitarist. I have a trio. I also work in other bands playing their own music or cover music. I play for weddings. I play at a church in Rhode Island. So pretty much every sort of gig I can get, I'll
Wow.
play.
Now, how is playing for weddings must feel a lot different from playing at like the Bank Street Cafe?
Oh, it's so different. I feel like it's a lot of pressure because it's that special day, you know. I got to get it right. But it's really nice to be a part of something like that.
Yeah, I think, well, I guess the common theme is that you're doing it to bring people together.
Yeah.
Right.
Music is always about bringing people together. Music is the one language that everybody can hear, and it speaks to everybody's spirit. So music is the thing that opens up minds and doors. You can put 20 different people in a room that none of them speak the same language and start playing music, and they're all going to unite and either dance or something. They're going to unite because music brings souls together.
That's totally true. I'm retired now, but I'm a preschool teacher, was a preschool teacher for decades. And I always worked in programs that were very diverse, language and cultural and everything. And we had to bring the diversity into the rooms, and music tended to
always
be
does
the
it.
really easiest way. I always had CDs of world music, and you have a day of French Caribbean and a day of African and
Yep.
Asian. And it's true that even though we spoke English in the classroom, whatever, languages kids spoke at home, we had that music
Yeah.
that covered like the gamut, and it was amazing what people responded to.
Right.
And not just
Especially-
the children.
Right.
the teachers.
Everybody responds to music. And it can make or break people too. Music has the ability to make people respond in a positive way, which her music does. And there's also the negativity too, which I don't see that in New London County, which makes me happy. We don't see as much of that negative music going out, but music really does touch the spirit and touch the soul, and it's good to be a part of what's going on in music in all of New England, but
Yeah.
especially New London County.
Well, it is funny with all of the different genres that are represented here, and there is quite a range.
Yeah.
It all seems to be kind of good-spirited. It sounds really funny, but even like the punk scene in New London is
They're
kind
happy.
of family-friendly.
They're very happy.
I don't quite get how that happens, but it seems to be the case.
It is. It is, and it's been like that since the 80s. The punk scene in the 80s, even though there was a lot of drugs going on, they were very family-orientated, and the Reducers encouraged that and brought that all out, and that was one of our losses that we took this year. But, yeah, it's really, I think that community and family are a mainstay and a roots for New London County, and I don't think that's ever going to change.
Yeah. Now, Kayla, what are your plans going forward? I mean, do you have a separate day job still, or can you devote yourself to your music?
I'm actually just doing music right now. The church is my day job, I guess. And I work on the technical side of music as well, with video and audio and that sort of thing. But I'm just planning to keep going with my own music, and I'm actually starting to put together another CD, my first official studio CD.
Well,
So I'm looking forward to that.
now, is there any kind of timeline on that, or are you just starting to get...
I'm
Right.
going into the studio actually in November, Signature Sound Studio in Pomfret, and it'll probably be out sometime in the spring, I think, next year.
And then you'll have a big tour, right?
I
Yeah.
hope so.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And we'll have a big blowout party when it comes out. We'll have a kickoff, and it'll be all over the radio. That's a definite. That's a given. But yeah. And we're waiting for Sony or BMI or someone to come up and say, we want to have you work for it. We may probably just say to them, no, we're going to stay independent, but then we'll need to raise money on the side. But yeah, she's
So
worth
there are a
being
lot
big.
of options going
Yes, absolutely.
forward.
Absolutely.
Is there any particular type of gig you like best, or, and they're obviously all different, but.
Yeah, I always prefer to play my own music. I mean, it's fun to play the dance music at the bars and get people going, or play at the church and have that spiritual sort of aspect to it, but always playing my own music is definitely closest to my heart and means the most to me to be able to share that.
And that's really great too, because,
Yeah.
well, as you know, for practical purposes, playing covers has a whole set of legal ramifications
Now it
these
does.
days too.
Now it does. That's why a lot of venues are asking you to come in and only play your own originals.
Your own or very traditional
Right.
music that's public domain and nothing
Exactly.
else.
So if you're not an original band nowadays, it's a lot of work to find a place that you can play. So if you're just doing covers, it's hard to find. But we have a lot of
Yeah.
original music under Grandma's Attic, and everybody that's doing original is doing pretty well.
And you know, it might even be a good thing, because maybe 10 years ago it seemed as though the original bands were not doing as well as the cover bands.
They weren't.
People could come and be a tribute band and they do so much better than
Yep.
the really creative people who were
That's
doing
what it
their
was
own
like
thing.
in the 90s.
Yeah,
Yep,
it was.
absolutely.
And even 10 years, even up to about 10 years ago.
Yep.
And so in a way, although I'm not sure the law is totally fair on covers,
It's not.
I'm glad to see that it has encouraged a lot of original music and a venue for more original music, where sometimes bar owners were looking for the cover bands.
Yeah. There are still a few bars that really encourage cover bands to come in. I won't name them because we can't, but
Right.
they are in the area, and they do. And there are
and they-
some really good cover bands
There
out
are.
there right now. And I won't name them either,
and
but
they
they're
draw-
doing great. Oh,
they
big
draw
crowds.
crowds.
They do. But people are learning that covers are just as good as originals, and covers used to be originals.
Right.
So listen to the original players and broaden your mind a little bit. There's so much out there, and everybody brings just that little piece of diversification in. Your music is so different from Harper and Owens
Oh, yeah.
or the Meadows Brothers, but they're all doing their stuff, and it's so acceptable to everybody.
And that's the fantastic part about the New London scene. It seems as though it's broadened so much with all the new people coming in that the New London sound used to be a much more
4 minutes.
generic sound. Not that it was bad, but it
No.
was more similar.
It really was.
And now it's everything. Well, we only have 4 minutes left.
Wow.
So maybe we can just kind of end and remind people what the great things coming up music-wise, both for Kayla and in general, so that, because as you all the viewers probably know by now, people who watch this show, some of you go to more political things than arts and music. And if you're going to really love New London, you've got to go to the music stuff first.
Yeah.
So where should people be going over the next
This
couple of
weekend, you got to
weeks?
get over the bridge. You have to get over the bridge this weekend to Mystic Village, for the Women's Health Expo, Breast Cancer Awareness Expo. It's in, yeah, whatever. I don't know. I'm
Mystic
saying-
Village, and you
In
said
Mystic
it-
Village, there'll be so many bands and so many things. Just get there. Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 6, both days, I think.
And
Yeah.
there's a full schedule of music at different
And you can find that
locations.
up on, go to Facebook and look for Cala, or look for Grandma's Attic, or the Women's Expo, because it's up
Yeah.
there. The Berry Brothers will be playing, Harper and Owens, Cala, who else is playing? A to Z, I'm trying to think of everybody. The Monsell Brothers will be playing, Miss Marcy and the Lovesick Hounds will be playing. I mean, there's a great,
Yeah, and a real range of music, too.
absolutely.
So this weekend only, we can head over
That's
the bridge.
the only, yeah, we'll go over the bridge this weekend.
And then the following weekend, there's a Bank Street Cafe.
Yep, well, with
And
the
our
Union Station opening.
art opening.
Absolutely.
Which segues perfectly into a 9 o'clock or 9:30 show at Bank Street Cafe.
Absolutely. Great night to be in New London.
And Dirt Road Radio has come together fairly recently, too,
Oh, they're
right?
amazing. They are amazing. They just played the Americana Fest. They opened the Americana Fest on Saturday, And yeah, they're really good. If you haven't seen them yet, check them out. They're hot. They're hot.
And so there are all kinds of ways to find music in New London. You can barely miss it. You can just come downtown and walk on the streets.
Yep.
You'll find it.
Well, the food stroll is next Wednesday,
Oh,
too.
that's true.
The food stroll is next Wednesday, and I'm not positive, but I'm almost positive that the River Gods are going to be part of
I
that.
think so.
Yep.
I'm not
That's-
sure which bands, but they
That's
usually
from
have one
5
at
to
the
5 to
Hygienic
8:30.
and posted at various
Yep.
locations.
So
So
that,
coming to New London on well, I miss it. I'm on have a TV show. Actually, I don't. I have a meeting. But
well, you'll be around.
yeah,
You'll
I'll
be around.
But I think we're out of time.
Out of time.
So
Thank you for
next
having
week,
us.
actually, I won't be here. Janice will be here, and the show will be something related to Fiddleheads.
Yay.
It's like our monthly food-related Fiddlehead show. And we'll have more music coming into the future, I'm sure. Thank you, Dot. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Kayla.
Thanks for having
We'll
us.
see you around New London and maybe around Mystic, too.
Absolutely. I'll be
And
there.
for everyone, don't miss the art and the music in New London, because if you miss it, you're missing half of the reason to live here.
Right. Exactly.
So I'll see you in a couple of weeks. In 2 weeks, I think Colin Bennett, who's running for Congress as a Green Party candidate, will be on, so we'll be back to politics. But for tonight, music. And we'll see you then.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks to both of you.
And we're